Let's start today with something that immediately grabbed my attention, because when you're watching the market as closely as we do here on Goldrush Crypto Daily, you can feel when sentiment suddenly shifts. And this post from Kaspa Daily is one of those signals you do not ignore. As you can see on the screen, they're reporting that Kaspa is leading the top 100 crypto sentiment rankings today. That means traders across the space are leaning overwhelmingly bullish, and it is not just random cheerleading. The post mentions strong community momentum, surging on-chain engagement, and accelerating ecosystem development. When you combine those three forces at the same time, you are looking at a coin that is not drifting with the market. You are looking at a project pushing forward with its own gravity. Now, if you are new to the channel, welcome to Goldrush Crypto Daily. I'm Goldrush, and every day we go over the hottest posts, the biggest market signals, and the stories that traders at every skill level need to see. Whether you've been here since the beginning, or you're new to the family, you're going to get energy, honesty, and real-time reactions. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you tap like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss when I drop a new video. Alright, back to this sentiment surge, because it tells us something important. Kaspa sitting at the top of the sentiment rankings means traders are rotating back into high-activity networks, and look, that aligns with exactly what Kaspa has been building. One of the things mentioned in the context of the post is that weekly transactions are up 20%. That does not happen in a dead ecosystem. That is a real metric reflecting actual usage, not hype. And then you have the blockDAG architecture, allowing 10 blocks every single second, which is absolutely wild considering Bitcoin is still inching along 1 block every 10 minutes. Kaspa is literally thousands of times faster while still maintaining proof-of-work security. And when you scroll through the replies to that post, you can see that people are not just excited, they are confident. They're talking about the DeFi expansions, optional privacy layers, and real adoption rather than empty speculation. Now, let's turn to another post from Kaspa Daily, because this one adds fuel to the fire. On your screen right now you'll see their warning about over $35 million in Kaspa short positions sitting in liquidation territory. And let me tell you, when shorts are clustered together this tightly, it can create explosive upside. According to the post, most of these shorts get wiped out if price revisits the 6-cent level. That is not far from where the price has been consolidating recently. And what happens when shorts get wiped out? Forced buying. That is what a short squeeze is. The price rises, shorts scramble, market makers take advantage, and suddenly you get a violent move upward. But as always, it requires actual buying pressure to trigger that chain reaction. Now, here's the funny thing. This is not even the first time this has happened. There was another 30 million plus short cluster back in October. These traders keep betting against Kaspa and keep getting punished by sudden spikes. Eventually, you would think they'd learn, but hey, someone has to donate liquidity to the bulls, right? But seriously, when you have this much leverage leaning in the wrong direction, it sets the stage for volatility. It doesn't guarantee a squeeze, but it makes the possibility very real. And honestly, if you're watching this video right now, you probably already understand that Kaspa is one of the few proof-of-work projects that actually has momentum in this cycle. Speaking of momentum, check out this next post from Crypto Pulse. The headline says it all. Kaspa breaks out. Is the next move loading? And the chart in this post is really interesting. It shows Kaspa breaking out of a descending channel that has been squeezing the price for weeks. Breakouts from compressions like this are usually a signal that the trend is shifting. You might be thinking, okay, but the post says price is pulling back. Yes, exactly. And that is what you want to see after a breakout. A retest of the breakout zone between roughly 4.5 cents and 5 cents would be the healthiest possible move for bulls. If buyers defend that zone, that confirms the breakout and clears the runway for a move to the next major resistance area. Now, of course, the price is above that level today, sitting around the mid 5-cent range, but even with that, the broader picture remains strong. Keep in mind that Kaspa is still down significantly from its January peak of around 11.5 cents. So when you see compression, breakout, retest, and sentiment surge all happening together, that's a story. It means the market might finally be ready to rotate back into high-throughput proof-of-work networks. And for the traders in the audience, take a look at the structure on the chart shown in the post. Even if you're a beginner, you can see the momentum swing. For experienced traders, you're probably seeing what I'm seeing, a pattern that historically leads to continuation, as long as liquidity holds. And this brings us to one of my favorite posts today, coming from Kaspa builders, the people who actually keep the network running. So, here's the deal. Their daily network snapshot, dated November 30th, is just packed with the kind of data that separates a real project from, just a flashy narrative. First off, Kaspa is delivering 10 transactions per second on average, with 10.1 blocks per second. That actually makes it the fastest proof-of-work layer 1 in the world right now. Then, we have 974 public nodes securing the network, and a massive 606.7 petahash in hash rate. Those numbers really tell you miners are confident. I mean, miners do not invest hardware and electricity into something unless they see long-term potential. And get this, over 584 million transactions processed with zero congestion and zero downtime. That's pretty wild. If you're showing this to someone who has only ever looked at Bitcoin and Ethereum, they'll probably think you're reading stats from a completely different technology. And honestly, they would not be wrong. Kaspa is proof of work redesigned with decades of academic research behind it. And don't forget, the post also mentions that the next block reward reduction is only 4 days away. As we get closer to these reductions, the supply dynamics start shifting. We've seen it with Bitcoin many times. Even before the halving, traders start loading up. And the cherry on top, a 45% weekly price gain. You cannot look at that and pretend traders are not paying attention. Now, let's finish strong with this post from CryptoPumpsZez. This one hits differently because it speaks to the culture behind Kaspa. The post says Kaspa has zero marketing budget, no shill fund, and no VC bags. And yet, look around. More and more influencers are suddenly waking up to what Kaspa is building. In fact, the post shows a video montage of major crypto voices talking about Kaspa's blockDAG tech, 1-second block times, and scalability. We are talking real channels with real audiences. And here's the part that always shocks newcomers. Kaspa grew from the bear market without any of the typical leverage. No VC narratives, no paid campaigns, just a community pushing real innovation, and a technology backed by peer-reviewed research. That's why the thread has hundreds of likes and a wave of positive replies. People are not chasing hype, they are celebrating resilience. And if you pull up the chart from the last 2 or 3 years, you'll see what I mean. This project had a massive run during one of the toughest markets in recent memory. That does not happen by accident. And when you combine that organic growth with everything else we talked about today, the sentiment surge, the breakout, the short squeeze potential, and the network fundamentals, it paints a picture of a project that is still early in its long-term story. Before we wrap up, this is a great time to remind you to like this video if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone else in the crypto community. It helps the channel grow, and it helps me keep bringing you daily coverage like this. Now, to close things out, let me give you my quick takeaway from everything we covered today. Kaspa is in one of those rare positions where technicals, sentiment, fundamentals, and community momentum are all aligned. When that happens in crypto, big moves can follow. It doesn't mean guaranteed gains, but it does mean opportunity. And if you've been watching Kaspa over the last year or two, you already know that this project has a habit of surprising people when they least expect it. Thank you for watching Goldrush Crypto Daily. I appreciate you all. Stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one. And remember, this is not financial advice.